Hey everyone, happy Thanksgiving. I am so excited to be here with you. Thank you so much for tuning in to this very special episode of the Genuine Life podcast. I've AKA'd called it the JennsGiving episode. It's been over 2 months since you and I have connected one on one and just canoodled a little bit. And so wanted to come on here with this very special episode just to connect and catch up with you. I dropped 2 episodes yesterday. One with a young lady by the name of Envika of Nourish with Envika, and an episode with a young lady named Quay from Aligned Healing Essentials. Both of those episodes are so fun and incredible. I hope you tuned in. But I wanted to come on here and chat with you mano a mano, uno a uno, one on one. And one, wish you a very, very happy Thanksgiving. I hope whatever you decide to do today, whether you're spending some time by yourself, or if you're venturing out and being with friends and family, one, be safe. Two, have an incredible time. And just do, again, whatever makes your soul happy, and own that, right? So I just wanted to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving and spend this time catching up with you. There's a lot going on over here, right? And a lot of it I've kind of started sharing on Instagram. If you're not following me, I hope you take this time to pause this podcast and go find the Genuine Life on Instagram. I'd love to have you. I do follow back, so, holla at me. But anyway, big story of the month, I guess. A lot of people were starting to send me messages when they were noticing that I no longer have my sister locks. I know. First of all, I was really starting to love my hair. And I loved it already, but your hair goes through these different phases with locks. And I was at the phase, I was about to hit my 1 year mark. And so my hair was getting very thick and they were really starting to just develop. And, long story short, you do have to maintain those particular locks every 4 to 5 weeks. Some people can go longer, but I was not one of them that could. So I was someone a who absolutely needed to see my consultant every 4 to 5 weeks just to keep my hair maintained. But I wasn't working at the time, and it was a bill that I just could not afford. And so I was doing my best to take care of my hair in between, but I wasn't able to really save as much of the locks as I wanted to. And so when I went to my hair appointment, she was like combing through my hair, and I could just hear her taking these really deep sighs, and I was like, oh God, like, what's wrong? And she said, honey, I mean, it's almost better that you just start all over. And that was just enough for me to say no. So I sat in her chair, I think, for like another 15 minutes, like, are you sure you can't just, I mean, I don't care. I can come back every day this week and you could just do a little bit at a time. And it was a lot. So it took me a week to comb them out. I took a small needle, like what you would sew with, and a rat tooth comb, and I binged Survivor and all these shows, for a week straight, ordering Uber Eats, and I sat on that couch and just went hard. And so they're out, and I'm back to being a loose natural. And for those of you who don't know what that means, it's simply, your hair in its natural state, and it's loose. It's not in a protective style. It's just out. So right now I'm wearing clip-ins, which I love. And I am going to do my best to kind of let my hair breathe a little bit. I have an appointment on December 15th. I'm going to get a really good trim and conditioner and all that good stuff. So I'm excited. And a lot of the reason why I got sister locks in the first place, which I don't think I've ever really explained, was, I was living in 2 states, Texas and Washington. Austin is getting better for sure, because you still have Houston and Dallas. But I was having a hard time finding somebody to do my hair. And it wasn't until like the latter part of me living there that I was able to find someone who braids, Britt McKnight. Love her. And someone who does my weaves, which is Tara, Hair by Tara. I'll tag both of them if you're in the Austin area. You definitely want to check them out. I love them. They were amazing, but I didn't find them until really the latter half of my time there. And then when I moved to Seattle, it was just like, okay, like I need to learn. At this point, I need to go to cosmetology school because this is too much, you know? And then, the new age situation with Instagram hairstylists, it's like the books open a month early and you really have to be on point with the scheduling. And then you have some people who don't wash your hair, which I never understood. Like, it's a whole thing. So if any guys are listening to this episode, please show your lady friends some grace. It's when we get our hair done, it's a serious thing, okay? It's not a joke. So anyway, I have an appointment December 15th. I'm very excited about. I'm going to be trying micro links this go round. So I will definitely keep you posted on that journey. But just wanted to address that because I know a lot of people were following my lock journey. I was super proud of those locks, and it was sad for me. Nobody's sadder than I am. So, yeah. May they rest in peace. I love them so much. But anyway. Oh, and then one more question people are asking me is if I'm going to lock again. Probably not. A lot of the reason, like I just stated before, the reason I was getting locked was because I was living in a state where I was like, I don't know who can do my hair. And I really, really didn't think I was ever coming back to Atlanta. And so now that I'm here, I'm in the land of hair. It's really not. I mean, literally, if I wanted to get my hair braided right now, I could on Thanksgiving Day. I'm positive I can. So, yeah, that's where we are. But the good thing is I have a new job, guys. And so when I left Amazon, I had a plan to rest, relax, do whatever I want. And I knew that. I wasn't interested in looking for a job. I was not trying to apply to one. And I'm just being very honest. Like, I just wanted to chill. I didn't want to work. I didn't want to do anything. I just wanted to be free. And so with that being said, I also wanted, when I knew, because I just knew that I wanted a different life for myself. That life that I wanted was entrepreneurship. But the lesson that I learned, which I needed to, I think was the harsh lesson, was like, I don't know if I'm a full-time entrepreneur. I admire people that do it. But during that time, I was too stressed. I was like, I like working. I do. I didn't realize how much I liked working, but I think I needed to learn in that time how to make it work for me, right? So being able to bring what I have to a corporate table and not be intimidated or shocked or scared or nervous about voicing my opinion, about bringing those special talents to, wherever I am. I didn't think I knew how to do that. And so that was something that I learned during this time of rest, was like, it's okay to work a corporate job. It's okay to, have that and a side hustle until you can fully grow into entrepreneurship. And I'm sharing that with you because I know a lot of you are probably like, yeah, okay, I know that, like, duh. But a lot of people don't, right? I think it's social media. Again, we see people and we don't always see the hustle part, like the part that got them to where they are right now on Instagram. It's a grind, especially for those people who are working full-time jobs and then trying to launch a business. But I just wasn't comfortable. I was like, where's my check? Like, where's my money? So that was a lot of the reason why I was like, okay, I gotta get back into the corporate field. But I don't know why Puffy is deciding to rumble on a plastic bag right now. So that's what you hear. Because he wants to sleep on it. Okay, I'm sorry. So yeah, that was one reason why I was like, I gotta get back in. And I'm also not super disciplined, just being very transparent. And so having that much free time on my hands was almost detrimental. Like, it was like I show up better when I know someone is waiting for me, or if I have a deadline. But if the deadline is a deadline for myself, I kept pushing it back. And so I realized that having a job, a corporate environment kind of job, provides me with a routine and boundaries for myself. Because, like, now I feel more creative. It's the strangest thing. But anyway, that's a whole nother episode. And I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm not knocking anyone that chooses to be a time entrepreneur, and I totally am not knocking someone that, decides to go to corporate. I'm saying you need to find what's best for you and understand where you excel the best. For me, I am a corporate thug, I guess. Like I have to be I have to have a job, right? And I truly do love recruiting. I love it. It's the one career for myself where I feel like I can really bring my whole self into the role. And so I missed it. I missed connecting with people. I missed helping them find that job, right? That they were longing for. I missed kind of bringing them through a process. I miss that. And so I need that around in my life. But then I love this too. And so I realized that it's okay to have both, right? I can have both, and there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't have to be one or the other, but I need to make them both work for me, and not to the point where I'm molding myself to fit one and I feel like I'm losing myself. So anyway, yeah, that's where we are. So I just signed on recently with Instacart, which I'm super excited about. I was with a huge Instacart fan since Austin. I was introduced to them because I was living on the a third floor apartment with no elevator, and I just refused to carry these groceries up the stairs. And so that's how I found out about Instacart, and so started using them then. And then I was like, wow, I really hate going to the grocery store, so I'll just use them all the time. And so I've been using them since I lived in Texas. And to be working with them now is incredible. First of all, it's only been 3 days, but I could tell already the culture is incredible. But I am a recruiter there, and I'll be recruiting for their call centers in Las Vegas and Atlanta. I don't have all the details yet. I'm still kind of in training, but I will definitely be keeping you posted. If you have any friends or family members that are looking for work in the Las Vegas area, and eventually Atlanta, I will have call center positions available. It's such a great company so far. So I'll keep you posted, but just start to keep that in mind. I know, we have listeners all over, and I figured I'd use this platform to kind of start to get the word out, for sure. So I'll be linking my new work email in the show notes for you. If you know someone that is interested in customer service or call center opportunities, have them send me their resume so that I can start to kind of get a list going of people that are ready to get to work. And so I'm very excited about this opportunity, and it's great. I was a technical recruiter before, and this is really more of my wheelhouse, like a non-tech recruiting role. I just like talking to people a lot more, and technical candidates are very data driven. So the conversations are usually like straight to the point. They don't like fluff, and that's fine. But I like fluff. And so, yeah, that's that. So anyway, yeah, yay me. I'm very excited about that. Got a new car as well. Wanted something a little bit bigger, and wasn't even thinking about a Volkswagen, that's for sure. But I got a Tiguan, and I am in love. I can absolutely see why people, go from a car to a truck and never turn back. I cannot imagine being in a car ever again. So I love her. Her name is Blueberry because she's blue, and it's just been great, right? And I that leads me to like my main point of this podcast today, and that is pivoting, changing course, and using time to reset and recharge. And I really want to talk about this really quickly. I won't hold you for too long. Maybe I will. I don't know. But when I first moved back to Atlanta, I had all of these plans, literally. I knew where I wanted to live, the area that I wanted to live in. I knew the kind of apartment I wanted. I knew what I was going to be doing every weekend. I just had a vision in my head of exactly what I wanted. From the time that I stepped off the plane, nothing went as planned. And I mean that. As soon as I stepped off the plane, nothing went as I planned. It was to the point where I thought, damn, did I make the wrong choice? Like, was I supposed to stay in Seattle? Like, God, I thought I heard you that it was okay to move, and now I'm here. and everything is falling apart. Literally, when I tell you every single day something was going on, like I remember a moment very, and my sister is not like a huggy kind of person. Well, at least not with me, but she, at one point, I was crying so hard in her living room. I don't think she even knew what to do. She just hugged me because it was just like I could not take it anymore. It was just every day. It felt like something was hitting me, and on top of everything that was going on in the world, but then on top of that, I just felt very like just tired. I was very tired, emotionally drained, physically drained, and just felt very disappointed in myself. Like I didn't do something right. Like, why was everything not going the way that I had planned? And so I promise you, when I say this, things did not start smoothing out for me until about October. And for me, and I mentioned this before in previous episodes, it's very difficult for me to have a lot of negative things happening, but then try to be positive. Like, oh, it's okay. Like, I'm still going to get up every day and follow my dreams, which you should do. But I'm also a realist, right? Like, I had bills to pay, I had things I had to do, I had like other stuff. And so I literally just had to take some time to reset and recharge. And the word that I have to keep repeating to you is pivot. You cannot be afraid to pivot. Things are not going to always go as planned, and they didn't for me. But I had to take some time to literally pull back and say, what is the priority right now? And the priority for me was, at that point, I got to find a job, right? I have to work. I need to this is going to alleviate a lot of the stress for me. And so and I want to be very clear, right? Like, I was very intentional about places that I applied to, roles that I applied to. Like, this isn't just like, oh, I need a check, that's it, and I'm not going to do my work. Like, no. I wanted steady income, but I also wanted a place that I could grow, that I could really plant my feet and be there. And so I was very intentional. I did not apply to like every single job that came my way. And I wanted a place where I could just be and grow. And Instacart really, 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 like, I felt it. Such a great place. But anyway, I digress. Back to pivoting. I wanted to say that to you because I think, especially this year, we have all been thrown some serious curveballs. And the only people that are thriving and surviving right now are the people who have adjusted, made changes, and have pivoted. You do not have to pivot from your dream. Okay, I want to be very clear about that. If you have a plan to do something, like if you're trying to open up a boutique, but maybe a vendor is taking much longer to ship your clothes out, right? Maybe you look for another vendor, or you change your buying process, or you update your customers and tell them that shipping is now taking, 6 weeks instead of 2 weeks. But you pivot, you adjust. You don't stick with the same exact plan if it's not going the same way, but you keep the end result the same. And so my end result is the same. I will launch to become a full-time podcaster. That will happen. I do believe that. And it's just what I feel wholeheartedly. It's what I absolutely love. And so with that being said, I had to start writing down the stuff that's not helping me fulfill that dream, right? And so as much as I love, 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 love Black women in Austin, it just wasn't serving the same purpose for me any longer. But I understand that there are a lot of women in Austin that still absolutely love the group. And so now I'm moving to passing the torch, right? I'm giving it to someone else to manage. And so that's exclusive news, by the way. And so she and I are working to get that moving and going, so that I can still be a part of it, because it's still my baby for sure. But I'm no longer going to be managing it, because it's just too much, because it's not the direction where I want to go right now. And so, I just want to be very clear. And like I said, I don't want to bore you today, but I just think it's super, super, super important for you to learn and be okay with pivoting. It's totally okay, right? If you had this idea that you wanted to be a full-time entrepreneur. Maybe it's just not working out. It could just be the timing right now, right? It's okay. You didn't fail. The only time you fail is when you don't try something. Period. If you try it and it doesn't work out, you still won, because you're doing more than what a lot of people won't do. A lot of people won't even try. So get out, do whatever you want to do. If it doesn't work, it's okay, right? You pivot, you change course. I also, and I keep saying this on every single episode, I started journaling, started meditating. Meditation is still a challenge for the kid, okay? Sitting there in silence, my brain is just like, blah, 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 blah. So I'm still working on that. I'm getting much, much better. But the journaling piece, guys, if you do not have a journal or a notebook, I'm going to shout out my friend L'Oreal. She just launched her new business, Shea Butter and Intuition, a beautiful line of notebooks where you can grab one. They're amazing, by the way. So I'll be sure to tag her too. But you can totally do these things, right? Write it down. That was another thing. And I come on here all the time talking about journal, 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 journal. And I was journaling my thoughts and I was journaling my day, but I wasn't writing down my dreams. Like, what do I want? So I went out and bought this big old whiteboard. And I didn't care how silly, because some people come over and they're like, what? You're going to do what? Yes, I am. And so if it's big to the point where it scares you, great. That's what we want. We need to start thinking so big, because I'm telling you, one, there's enough money out here for everybody. I'm a firm believer in that. And anything that you want, you can have. It's just that simple. I feel like I'm rambling now. So anyway, I just want to speak life into you right now, because I know it's tough out here, and it's not tough for everybody, right? Some people are thriving right now. Some people are like, this was the best thing that could have happened. And then you have the other spectrum where it's just like, what in the world what else can 2020 do for me? Right. And I encourage you to just take a breath, breathe, understand that this is just all a part of the plan. And we just have to get in line with it, get aligned. And if that means taking some time away from people, friends, family, social media, do it. Okay. And write everything down. Everything that's in your brain, write it down. I don't care how silly it is. Don't worry about grammar or punctuation. Just write it down, get it out of your brain and on paper, and then start to sort through it. That helped me tremendously. It was too much going on in my brain. I was like, okay, I want this podcast on Patreon, and then I wanted to go do this, and then I'm about to start doing this, and I'm gonna go do this, and and it was like too much. It's like, girl, take it back to basics. Just record. How about we start there? Just record, get consistent again with recording. And I'm being very transparent with y'all. This is the conversation that I have with myself. It's like you're trying to do too much, but you're not even doing the little bit that you have. Like, just record. Stop trying to do too much. Stop looking at what other people are doing and how their podcasts is, how they, promote their podcast. You promote it the way that's best for you. Because the thing is, at the end of the day, what's for you will be for you. So I can promote my own way and my podcast can still blow up, and somebody else can have, Charlemagne promote theirs and theirs will blow up. It's all there, because whatever's meant for you will be for you. So do whatever is comfortable for you and put the work in. Okay? Just put the work in, but be prepared to pivot. Everything may not go the way that you plan, but you have got to keep pushing. Okay? You got to. You have no choice, but you can rest. Right? I'm not saying you need to go out here and kill yourself trying to overwork yourself. That's a better word to use. Don't overwork yourself thinking that overworking is going to get you there. No. Time management is going to get you there. Thoughtful planning, journaling, praying, and sometimes you just got to be by yourself to get it done. But get it done. Okay? Because if one thing that 2020 has taught us, first of all, it has no mercy. But time waits for no one, because life is still going on. Even with everything that's happening right now, it's still going on. And so we have the ability to really, really create the lives that we want. And I encourage you to do it. And I'll be right here with you, Okay. I feel like I'm acting like a mom now. My last point to you today is to be grateful. And I know that sounds so cliche, but I'm very serious. I need you to take 1 second today and just really breathe. There are people who did not make it to Thanksgiving this year. And whether you agree that COVID is real or not, that's besides the point. There are people who have died from it, right? And it's sad, it's unfortunate. And I need us to really be mindful. Like, the fact that you opened your eyes this morning is huge. That alone, you're breathing. And then you have people who, whether they celebrate Thanksgiving or not, they weren't able to go to the grocery store 4 or 5 times, to grab ingredients, and they don't have that, right? And I can tell you from personal experience, it took me almost 3.5 months to get unemployment. And I just kept saying to my sister, thank God, I am now I'm not gonna sit here and make it sound like it was easy, because there were times where I was just like, okay, like, do I need to go fly out there myself and approve my application? It was rough, right? But all I kept thinking about was like, thank God I'm not like a single mom with a child and that's dependent on me. It's like, it's just me, so I'm able to do what I need to do. But it's rough out here for people, okay? And I said this before, we have got to start showing each other grace. Now, some folks can just be annoying, but the majority of us are going through some real shit out here, okay? And so just take a moment to just really be grateful for today. And if you are just miserable and you don't know what you could be grateful for, I'm going to take it back to the beginning. You opened your eyes. You're listening to a podcast, which means you either have a cell phone or you have a computer, right? And so that alone is another reason. I mean, there is something to be grateful for in everything. And so I had to say that to myself. Even when I was stressed out, I was still being blessed. I ain't never miss a meal. I was still eating good. Car still had gas. I was still able to pay rent. So there's like, sometimes you just have to take a step back and just say, you know what? Yeah, it ain't that bad, because it's not. It's never that bad. All right, guys. I think that's it. I feel like I have really, really talked your ears off today, but I missed you, and I hope you can tell that I have. And I absolutely adore you. I pray that you all are well. I am so happy to be back behind this mic, taking it back to basics, baby. And so I have another episode dropping very, very soon, and I'm very excited to share it with you. It's so much fun. And again, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for tuning in today and every day. Thank you for sharing my podcast. It has just continued to grow. Even when I wasn't even paying it attention, I just happened to log back in and 400 people had listened to past episodes. And so I'm just like, oh my God, like, this is crazy. So just thank you for your continued support. Thank you for sharing my podcast and tagging me. Thank you for allowing me to be vulnerable in a safe space. It's hard sometimes to share some things back here, but I feel like we've all built, whether the community is small or large, that is the purpose, is to build a safe community where you all feel like you can flourish and be transparent, because that's what the world needs right now. We need some transparency out here. And I just want to thank you. I appreciate you. Don't forget to go ahead and subscribe so you never miss when I post another podcast. This also helps me get other genuine lifers to listen to this episode and others. I just want to say thank you. I really appreciate you. I hope you have an amazing Thanksgiving. Hug your loved ones real, 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 real tight if you're with them. And if you are alone, go ahead and Netflix and chill all day. There's nothing wrong with that. And I hope you have an amazing, incredible day. And I will chat with you soon.